So areas were actually assigned colors and assigned numbers, and we literally wrote the numbers onto where the colors were so the kids could paint it. So that's pretty much how we got it, so they could move through without having to really teach them a whole lot about painting techniques. And, though they did learn about painting and mixing colors and stuff like that. Had a lot of stuff that was donated from the community as well. When you paint a mural like this, you need ladders, you need scaffolding, and you need places to keep that stuff and things like that. So the ladders and scaffolding was donated by one African American business here. Another African American business, or another business, gave us the equipment to sandblast. And then someone else, supplied the sand so we could sandblast. And then other artists, fellow African American artists came various times and assisted me. Because when we sandblasted, we had to get all that sand up. That was a major task. And we really didn't have that many, all this younger students or youth hadn't all been hired at the time. We were on a very tight timeline to get it started, and it pretty much did pretty good. The kids that I worked with were hired through CETA. There was a question of that with CETA too. It's like, well, what does this have to do with job training? Well, we wanted to get as many kids working on it, and so we ended up with 20, but they all didn't work at the same time. That would have been Bethel to have 20 working at the same time. So it was approximately 10 at a time. In the morning there would be a group of 10, and then they would go to CETA for job training in the afternoon. And in the afternoon there was a group of 10 who had been at CETA for job training in the morning. So I was able to appease everybody. And there was a lot of stuff in terms of appeasement had to do. Some people didn't like the mural no matter what we did. Some people didn't think it was militant enough. There was a lot of things, but overall, they really liked it. They really did like it, and it became kind of a symbol of the black community. In fact, I haven't been here for over 20 years, except for to come home to visit, and it's kind of amazing to still see that it still is considered a symbol of the black community, and actually a symbol of the community. Because I've had a lot of people say, well, drove past and watched it, seen it, always wanted to know who did it, and when it was done, because it lasted 30 years, and I was surprised. I knew it would probably last 15 to 20 because I had designed it, and that's the reason why I wanted to make sure the walls were prepared right so that it would last at least 20 years, but I didn't think it was going to last any longer than that. Yeah.
You were talking about your careful color selection. What went into selecting the perfect colors?
There wasn't really the perfect colors. I'm a painter by training, and it was just taking my standard palette of standard colors, and I used very similar to the standard colors we use in Renaissance, or colors associated with that. And then from that palette, when we was able to buy those colors or colors close enough to that palette, so it could work. And then from there, I taught them how to mix all the other colors that we needed. So we would have jars and, other things that they would literally pour and then mix. So we'd be able to mix the colors and then be able to hold them. The Sullivans was also very nice. In the evening, we were able to, in the morning, the kids who came in the morning, as well as some of the local artists could come around and they would assist. When the kids wasn't here, they'd assist me. They come in the morning, assist me putting up the scaffolding, and then come in the evening and assist me to take the scaffolding down. And then we would store it in the building. And the same thing with the paints, we stored them in the building. So there was a lot of help, a lot of volunteer effort, for this mural to be done.
Is there any way to restore this technically?
The easiest way to restore it would almost be you would have to scrape the paint that is peeling off and then work back on it. the issue with restoration is that there's two ways of restoration. You can just kind of like paint on top of it, which, you know, or you can actually kind of pretty much redo it. And that is by actually using the original painting and then, you know, redoing the painting.
Would you like
because
to
it's
see
very
that
hard
done?
to relift it. I personally, you know, I'm not still too sure. For a long time it was like no. I'll be true with you. For a long time it's like no. It served its purpose. You know, I did it. There was a certain time frame it was done. There's a certain reason for it to be done. The community knew and understood what it was, and it was a point of community identity. But now the community is changing greatly. The majority of African Americans do not live in the community anymore. They're spread all over Champaign. A lot of kids and a lot of even adults now that have moved in, you know, since this painting was done, they don't have any connection with the community or that much of the history of the community and the cohesiveness that the community was at this time period that this mural was done. So, you know, for me, there's been several times that folks have been contacted because people would look and see who's on the mural, and then they would, you know, run around and see if they can find, you know, who's connected on, you know, whose name is on the mural, so who's connected to the mural. And they would ask them about the mural, and then they would say, well, you know, I'm the person that asked about the mural. Of course, I wasn't here. And folks would ask me to come back and do it. And when I told them how much it cost to do it, then, you know, they would back off. So it was like, that's fine. It cost, the overall cost, when you're talking about the materials that was donated, the machinery that was used, that was donated to us, and what we would have had to pay to rent it, the artists who volunteered their times to assist if we was paying them, it would have been $28,000. Okay, the actual money amount that was spent was approximately 13. So we're talking about a lot of time and a lot of effort that was put into this mural that was actually given away for free to ensure that it got done.
Can I interrupt for a minute? We had made a backup plan, weather-wise, to go to Douglas Library to the conference room, but
compared to how it was when you first did it, like the paint that you still see now, like is it a lot more faded or is it?
It's faded. It's faded.
Like,
it's
very
faded. You got your computer? Oh, okay. Because I have my. I brought the.
Oh, I can get that color. Print. Do you have that color print out?
On my computer?
No.
No, I gave away my last color printout. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I should have been more prepared.
Oh no, that's okay. Cause like I brought my disc because I thought we'd go ahead and walk on over there, but we didn't. So I'll go over. No, it's a lot faded.
Yeah.
It really is. The colors were extremely bright.
Okay.
Yeah, they just kind of like jump out at